Hi guys! So today I'm doing this video because I just want to talk about my working at Winghouse and Hooters. They're kind of the same thing, but from my experience I liked Winghouse so much better, and that's just because of the culture of the area and like the Winghouse vibe. So let's start off. So I worked in Hooters. I started when I was 17. I was a hostess. And then like 2 months later, I became a server. But even as a hostess, my stories began. Okay. So, okay, yeah. So one of the creepiest things that not the one of the creepiest, because a lot of the creepy things has happened to me just like being in this field, but when I was 17 there was this guy that always like went there, and he was a cop, and like, how old are you? And I'm like, oh, 17, but I turned 18 in like 3 days. So when I turned 18, I don't know if he got my number or what, but yeah. Then we started like talking, not even like talking that much. It literally, not even like, lasted like a few days. It wasn't even like a thing. Like nothing ever happened. Like, no. And so, we were like talking and stuff, and I ended up like hanging out with him like one time, and he showed me his like secret like thing that was like weird about him. Not really weird, but you know, like you don't see it a lot. And he had this huge, like when I met up with him, he was wearing like a Superman shirt, like, yeah. And he showed me this like huge chest, like the size of a table, and like a desk table. And it was just filled with like Superman things, like all types of trinkets, like the little things you set on your desk, the little bobbleheads, like cups, lunch boxes, more shirts. It was insane. And I was just like, even 18-year-old me was like, I gotta go. Yeah, so nothing ever happened with that. And I stopped talking to him because, one, it was weird because he was like 27, 28 or something. I don't know. And I should not be talking to him anyway. So that was one. Another one, oh, the reason I got fired from Hooters was because I was still 18. I only worked there for like 4 months because then I got fired. But I was like sitting at a table, and it was like dead as heck. And I was so bored and pissed because I wasn't making any money, and I hate being bored. It's the worst. So I was looking at a table, sitting at a table looking all like sad and shit. And this guy like calls me over, and he's like this older dude. And he's like, hey, like, let me buy you a drink. And I was like, oh, like, I don't know. In my head, I was like, yes, yes. So he bought me a drink, and we had this new bartender. And he was like, okay, just like put it in a to-go cup or something like that. Or that's what I said. I don't know. Anyways, she like made the drinks, gave him one, gave me one, like gave it to me, looking me dead in the face, gave me the drink. I walked away with it, you know, sipping, looking all cute, trying to like, thought I was being all secretive. Because girls used to do this all the time. They would just do it on the DL, like without the managers knowing. And like the girls knew, but obviously we're like not going to tell each other because we're here for each other. But not this bitch. Ugh. Sorry, I love women, but that girl was mean, okay, because what she did next. So she made the drink for me, and then she went and told on me to the manager, like, right after she did it. And then I remember, like, walking by the manager's office, seeing them look at the cameras, and I'm like, I'm dead. Like, I'm so dead. And after that shift, he was like, I have to fire you, let you go. And I started bawling, crying, because I liked working there. It was so much fun. And so he let me go, so I was pissed. Then I went to another place that was kind of like it, but, like, I don't really have a lot of stories from there, so we're not gonna talk about that one. Then when I moved to Florida, I started working at Winghouse, and Winghouse was so much fun. It was so much different than Hooters because it felt more close, like family, because there was a lot more regulars, and just the people there were more chill. You know, the atmosphere of like the management team, they weren't as strict. Like it wasn't all like be prissy and like you have to hold this like girl next door standard. Like that was in the handbook, but us girls, like, lots of the girls had like tattoos all over, or they had piercings, and like everybody had their own style, so it was cool. It was more of like a bar type of thing. And so I'm gonna start off real quick. The management was cool. There was like 3 guy managers, 1 girl manager, and they were all pretty cool. Like I liked most of them until they like, unless they were pissed, and then we got yelled at like children. Working with the girls, my favorite part, because like, you know everything about these girls. They like bitch about their problems to you, and they complain about everything, and you can do it too. And then sometimes the girls would hang out. I never really hung out with girls because, and I was usually busy with like school or other things, or like my boyfriend. So I didn't really hang out with the girls, but the few times I did, it was fun. And then I just got to talk to them and be like, you know, like a little friend, little sister. Okay, stories. Yeah, being there, I made it worth my while to not be bored. Ever. Most of the time, if we were like... Anyway, so I did have this one guy try to be my sugar daddy, but I'm not that special because he had multiple girls trying to be his sugar baby. And I was not about to give him any sugar. That boy was not about to touch me. No! No. And who else? Like I said, I had some regulars, so they were really nice to me. We wouldn't really like talk or anything. We'll just like, talk at the restaurant. And they were like older gentlemen, and so they usually had families and wives, and so I would just like sit, listen to their problems, or like their work, like whatever they're talking about. That's what I'm there for, to listen. Okay, so you know how people say that like working at Hooters or like that type of like restaurant place, that girls get creeped on by old guys? That's a yes and a no. Yes, because older guys do come in there and they like, you know, we're young and pretty, and so they like talk to us, and sometimes they'll like grab us, as in like they'll like grab our waist, or like, I don't know, touch our hair or something. Usually it wasn't anything super perverted. The only thing that was perverted was the comments sometimes, and I did get some like nasty comments, not mean, but just like perverted comments. And for me, I would just like that's what I would do. I like wouldn't even say anything about it, or like try to carry on the conversation. But I know some girls would get really they would feel like violated or be offended, and so that would like ruin their entire work mood. And if you work in a place like this around men who are drinking, and you're going to be in your little outfit, you have to have a strong mental state. Like, you can't let those things affect you, because if you do, then it's going to like affect your service, it's going to affect your attitude, and it's just all going to go downhill. What else? Sometimes dealing with girlfriends, like on dates, some women would come in and be like, oh, damn girl, you look cute. Yes, killing it. And I love those girls, because I'm like, thanks, you're so sweet. Like, you know, women empower women. But then the women that would come in and they like wouldn't even look at you in the face. Just like completely not even like talk to you. Even if you ask them like, hey, how are you doing? Like, can I get you something to drink? They just like you're over here talking, like not even paying attention to you. I did have one of those ladies, and I don't know what her deal was, but that's not my problem. So every time she needed something, I was like, hey, can I get you something? And she'd be like, no, I'm fine. I'm good. Thanks. Okay, whatever, that's fine. And then also there would be girls coming in, and I remember this one chick, she came in with like a group of guys, and like she had joined their table, and so I like went to go like ask her what I could get her to drink, and she just like looked at me, and then she just like went like that, or like grabbed my boob or something like that, and I was just like like, what? I didn't like, she was like, oh, are they real? I'm like, yeah. Sorry. But just like things like that, like it was like a fun environment until it just wasn't. But for the most part, it's pretty cool. So I guess if you have any questions or not, it doesn't matter. But that's my experience at Wingdings.